Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Tanel channel. My name is Tanel and today I'm a little bit late with a review. Today I'm gonna actually review the MSI AMD Radeon RX480, which came out like a year ago or something like that. So yeah, I'm a little bit late on this, but I did want to make this review for my benchmarking result screen. So if I'm gonna test like 1080 Ti's or whatever in the future is coming out, then this beast has to be in that list to see how it compares to all kinds of other cards out there. So today, yeah, I'm gonna actually review the RX480 Gaming X version from MSI, which is a pretty good card. How good, really? That's what we're gonna check out here. I'm gonna give my rating to it also. So, without further ado, let's take a closer peek at the video card and then talk a little bit about it and check out how it performs in all different kinds of benchmarks. Alright, so now that you've seen a small sneak peek video from the video card, I guess it's time to talk a little bit about it. I mean, the first thing that you will notice is the amazing cooling on it. The Twin Frozer 6 from MSI, which is absolutely stunning and absolutely performs top notch. I really want to say that it is the best video card cooler out there, period. That is using air cooling and is coming straight out of the box when purchasing the card. So, I mean, MSI has done an incredible job. There definitely are some points to talk about here that might not be that perfect, but could be better in the Twin Frozer 7. And I guess the main issue with me has to be that, yeah, for me personally, I don't mind, I don't really care if the fan is stopped or not, but a lot of people may have the airflow issue in their case. A lot of people may even build, you know, really compact PCs, so having a video card there 60 degrees Celsius all the time and going up even might not be that perfect. But yeah, you can of course use MSI Afterburner to regulate the fan speeds and have them on all the time, so people with really compact PCs that have maybe some heating issues don't have to worry about a big hot 60 degree piece of video card in it. But yeah, I mean, Twin Frozer 7 definitely could have a mechanical switch or something like that here. So if you switch it on, then the fans also spin when you're just browsing the web. You know, not really at high speeds, at some low speeds, but keeping the temps at, I don't know, 30 to 40 degrees maybe. So that might be a pretty good option to have on the next version of the Twin Frozer. That's the biggest complaint, I guess. The other small minor complaint that I have is, you know, the MSI logo is RGB. You can definitely change the lighting on it with the MSI Gaming app, but yeah, you can't change the color of the other LEDs that is on the backside of the card. And that's been the issue on all the Twin Frozer coolers out there, so GTX 1080s also, which is kinda weird, cause red does not really go well with NVIDIA cards. It's a personal preference, I guess, but it's been known from the start of time itself that AMD cards are red and NVIDIA cards are green. But yeah, I mean, that's my other minor complaint, so maybe Twin Frozer 7 could have, you know, RGB LEDs on the back panel also, or all over the board. I mean, that would be the perfect cooler and also the perfect looking cooler. But yeah, other than that, there's really nothing bad to say about the video card itself. It performs absolutely magnificent and is a really great performer in games. How good? I'm gonna come to that in a second. First of all, yeah, the connections. We do have two HDMIs, two display boards and a DVI-D board. And this card itself takes 150 watt maximum power and uses an 8-pin power connector to get that power, so we don't need any more cables connected to the board. And yeah, I mean, if I could complain a little bit more here, I mean, when can we have the power connector like on the side here, so it would look a lot cleaner in the case, or have an option to, you know, somehow like EVGA did with their special module add-on that you can bring the power connector wherever you want. Maybe that could be a thing with all video cards in the future. But yeah, that's about it from the card itself. I mean, it does look pretty good. The cooling is really good. I mean, there's hardly anything bad to say about the video card itself in terms of how it looks, how it performs with cooling, and pretty much how it performs in games. So let's start with benchmarking results. I'm gonna put a small screen somewhere here so you can see actually what I'm using to benchmark the video cards that I receive, and I do have a pretty decent 5960X system here, so should be enough for all kinds of gaming. But yeah, I did run a couple of benchmarks that I like, and I think those are one of the better benchmarks out there. So 3D Mark's 3D Mark Time Spy and 3D Mark Fire Strike, and of course Tom Clancy's The Division, GTA 5, Battlefield 1, and of course Hitman for that DirectX 12 benchmarks. But yeah, let's start off with 3D Marks. So I ran 3D Mark Fire Strike first, and it did receive 11,979 points, which is yeah, kinda on the low side. It does fall a little bit short from the GTX 1080 result, which was 20,000 plus something. So yeah, not the best result there, but 11,900 points, 12,000 easily obtainable. I guess nothing really bad, but I was definitely hoping a little bit more. Now the next benchmark was 3D Mark Time Spy, and in 3D Mark Time Spy it received 4,545 points, which is also a little bit on the low side, I guess. I was hoping a little bit more from an 8GB RX480, and also the 3GB GTX 1060 is like 60 euros or something cheaper at the moment, but the Gaming X version about 40 euros cheaper or something like that, something like that. Performing about the same as GTX 1060. But my GTX 1060 was a 3GB model to show that you don't actually need a lot of memory on the video card to play games on 1080p. Even going to 4K, I mean, if a video card is, you know, not fast enough at 1080p, then yeah, you're not really gonna see any real difference from a 3 or 4 gigabyte version of a card versus an 8 gigabyte version of a card. It might improve the FPS like 5 to 10 frames per second, but it's nothing major. Anyway, coming to the next benchmark and the first gaming benchmark, it is the Grand Theft Auto 5 benchmark. And I did run that through, and the fourth pass, the longest pass in the benchmark, it did receive an average FPS of 75.1 frames per second. Now 75.1 is a little bit less than the GTX 1060 even, so yeah, I mean, I definitely was hoping the RX480 would be a little bit faster, definitely beating the 1060, but that's not the case here, and it's definitely more expensive than the GTX 1060, so pretty interesting results here. And yeah, definitely I was using the newest Radeon drivers in 2017 also, so yeah. Alright, so next up, let's go to Tom Clancy's The Division. So Tom Clancy's The Division, it received 63.4 frames per second. The GTX 1080, which is also a more expensive card, was almost double the speed of the RX480, so yeah, insane difference in performance. But yeah, that's the result for the Tom Clancy's The Division test. Alright, next up is the latest Hitman game, and I do run all my benchmarks there at DirectX 12, so it did receive a score of 89.9 frames per second, pretty similar to the GTX 1060 here, and yeah, I mean, a decent result, but taking into consideration it is more expensive than the GTX 1060, yeah, not too happy about that. Anyway, up next, Battlefield 1, so a game that a lot of you guys play out there, I guess, and which really looks really awesome on ultra settings. So on ultra settings 1080p, it did receive a score of 96 frames per second, and upscaling it to 200%, which is like 4K, it received 41 frames per second. So again, pretty similar. It's like the same result as the GTX 1060, and I mean, definitely was hoping a little bit better scores overall from the RX480. So really interesting to see the card in action on my desk bench here. I'm testing it out all by myself on the 5960X Intel processor, so a pretty nice and good 8 core and 16 thread CPU, so nothing really holding it back here. Now I did also check out what the actual temperatures are on this video card in idle and in full load, and yeah, I have to admit my room temperature here is pretty warm. It's 23 degrees Celsius. And yeah, the card idles at around 45 to 47 degrees on my benchmarking rig, which is on my table here, without a case, and yeah, that's pretty nice and decent temps, considering the fans are not spinning at all. And after running a stress test, the 3D Mark stress test, the temperatures peaked at around 73 degrees Celsius, so I mean, pretty good temperatures, definitely really good temperatures in idle, because the fans are not spinning at all and they're not even close to 60 degrees, so that's pretty amazing here. And while playing, it did go to about 73 degrees Celsius, but the fans were hardly spinning at all, peaking at around 1000 RPM, which are just pretty much silent. It's like using a water cooling setup on this video card. It's that good. So yeah, overall a really difficult choice between the RX480 and the GTX 1060. I personally would go with the NVIDIA GTX 1060 because they're a little bit more reliable in games, and the drivers are more up to date all the time, and NVIDIA is really pushing on the gaming scene. But you know, AMD is not far behind. AMD just came out with their brand new Ryzen CPUs, which are absolutely incredible in terms of performance. And yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with the RX 480, but yeah, definitely I feel that the GTX 1060 could be better, and also the GTX 1060, I benchmarked it months ago, so newer drivers might up the score a little bit, you know, a frame or two here and there, but I mean, yeah, pretty similar performance to GTX 1060. So what is my final verdict gonna be for this video card? I'm gonna give the MSI AMD Radeon RX480, the 8GB version, on 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, I guess if it was a little bit faster than the GTX 1060, I mean noticeably faster, I would have given it like an 8.5 or something like that. But I mean, it is a little bit more expensive than the GTX 1060 and performs about the same. And NVIDIA also has a little bit better driver support and gaming support, so maybe a little bit less crashing in video games, just because NVIDIA produces drivers after drivers like on a weekly basis at sometimes, which is a pretty nice thing to see. And AMD is kinda lagging behind on that. But yeah, I mean, the biggest pros of this exact model is definitely the cooler itself. 8 gigs of DDR5 memory, can't go wrong with it, but as you can see, there's really no difference on a 4GB versus an 8GB model. And the only con that I see is the price itself. If the price could have been like 60 euros cheaper or something somewhere there, it definitely could have had on 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, if you can get it cheap, then definitely get it. It's definitely not a bad video card. It's a pretty nice, decent gaming video card out there, but in my opinion, the GTX 1060 is definitely a better choice. Anyway, that's gonna be it for my video review. If you liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna try and get the GTX 1080 Ti in my house real soon, and not like a year from now. So keep an eye out for that video review. And yeah, thanks for watching my videos. I'll be seeing you soon. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And yeah, that's it from me right now. Ciao!